Ryan sat in the dimly lit corner of the small cafe, his fingers nervously tapping on the table. The coffee in front of him was long cold, but he didn't care. His thoughts were too loud, too restless. Every day was the same, struggling to pay bills, watching his family fight over the little money they had left, and working tirelessly at a dead-end job that barely made ends meet. He was stuck. Ryan had always dreamed of a better life, but those dreams felt like a distant memory now. His father, once a proud man, had lost everything in a business deal gone wrong, leaving Ryan to pick up the pieces. The weight of responsibility pressed on him, but the burden was suffocating. Suddenly his phone buzzed. It was a message from an unknown number. "You want to change your life, Ryan? I can help you, but the price isn't cheap." He stared at the screen, the words haunting him. It was an offer he couldn't ignore. But at what cost? Ryan's life had always been about survival. He had never thought about the right or wrong, he just did what he had to in order to get by. But now there was a glimmer of hope, or maybe it was a curse. The message had led him to meet Vikram, a mysterious figure in the city's underworld. Vikram was known for his connections, his ability to make things happen, things that others couldn't even imagine. He saw potential in Ryan, a potential that he could exploit. "Business is a game, Ryan. You just need to know the right moves," Vikram had said with a grin, one that didn't quite reach his eyes. The deal seemed too easy. Money laundering, a legal business on the surface, but Ryan would be moving illicit funds. At first, it felt harmless, like a small favor for Vikram. But as Ryan was pulled deeper into the world of crime, his ambition grew. And so did the risks. Ryan's business was thriving. He built a legitimate-looking real estate empire, but it was all a front. Behind closed doors, the money flowed freely, dirty money, but money nonetheless. Every deal, every transaction seemed like a step closer to the wealth he had always dreamed of. But it came at a price. The stress, the fear of getting caught, and the constant pressure to stay ahead of the law gnawed at him. Then there was Simran, the one bright spot in Ryan's life. She was smart, kind, and everything he had ever wanted. But she had no idea what Ryan was really involved in. He tried to keep the two worlds separate, but it was getting harder. The lies, the secrets, they were all starting to eat him up inside. One evening, Ryan received another message. This one was from Inspector Arvind, a relentless officer who had been on the trail of Vikram's criminal network for years. The message was clear: "I know who you are, Ryan. You're in deeper than you think." The walls were closing in. Ryan's heart pounded in his chest as he stared at the message. For the first time, the fear was real. He wasn't just worried about getting caught. He was worried about losing everything he had worked so hard for. Vikram had promised him the world, but Ryan was starting to see the cracks in the deal. He was nothing more than a pawn in Vikram's game. Simran had started to notice that something was wrong. She confronted Ryan, demanding the truth. With everything crashing down around him, Ryan had no choice but to tell her. The betrayal hit her like a slap across the face, and she walked away, leaving Ryan with nothing but his guilt and fear. It was then that karma struck. Inspector Arvind had everything he needed to bring Vikram down. And as it turned out, Ryan had unknowingly been a part of the trap. The law had caught up with him. Ryan sat in the courtroom, facing the consequences of his actions. The road to redemption was long and the cost was high. But he wasn't giving up. He had made mistakes, but now he was determined to make things right. Simran had returned, offering him a second chance, not because of the money, but because she believed in the man he could become. In the end, Ryan's story wasn't just about money and power. It was about the lessons he had learned along the way, the importance of honesty, the price of ambition, and the value of true love. With Vikram behind bars and his business restructured as a legitimate enterprise, Ryan was ready to rebuild his life, not as a criminal, but as a man who had truly learned the meaning of success. If you like this story, please like and share and subscribe the channel for next video. See you in next video. Stay happy.